Giant has just released what might be the lightest endurance road bike on the market. That's right, the Defy is back for 2024, and in this video I'm going to give you all the key details that you need to know before letting you in on the first ride impressions of the top of the range advanced SL0 model from our senior tech editor Warren Rossiter. As always, if you want to be kept up to date with all the latest cycling tech news, then don't forget to subscribe and hit that little bell icon so that you are the first to hear about it. We'll start on the scales because weight, or the lack thereof it, is the standout feature for the 2024 Defy. Now, Giant claims that the new Defy Advanced SL frame weighs a feathery 785 grams in a size medium, which is roughly equivalent to a size 54cm frame for most other brands. That is a very respectable 195 grams less than the previous range-topping Defy Advanced Pro. By our calculations, that makes it one of the lightest endurance road bike frames on the market today. The new Specialized Roubaix, launched just a few days ago for example, comes close at a claimed 828 grams in a size 56, while the Cannondale Synapse is heavier still at 950 grams in the same size. Now, there are 3 tiers for the new Defy range, starting with the Advanced SL at the top, the Advanced Pro in the middle, and the Advanced at the bottom. As noted at the beginning, we've had the flagship Advanced SL0 model into test, which costs a cool £11,499 or $12,000 and is spec'd with a SRAM Red ETAP Axis group set and Cadex carbon wheels. Thankfully though, prices start at £2,299 or $2,999 for the Advanced Free model with Shimano Tiagra, so you don't need to drop 5 figures just to get your hands on this new Defy. Frame weights are also down for the cheaper Defy Advanced Pro and Advanced frames at 860 grams, again in a size medium without hardware. Both the higher spec Defy Advanced SL and Defy Advanced Pro share the same fork, which sees a one-piece carbon construction. Giant is still using its Overdrive 2 steerer, which is an oversized 1¼ inch, and it's claimed to weigh 345 grams uncut. The fork legs are now flat at their rear face, in keeping with the Giant's TCR and Propel for improved aerodynamic performance, and Giant also says that the new Defy Advanced SL is 8.9% stiffer and has a 28% higher stiffness to weight ratio than the previous Defy Advanced Pro. Now, don't roll your eyes at me, but Giant says that the new Defy Advanced Pro is also 0.2% stiffer than the previous generation Defy Advanced Pro. Like most endurance bikes, the Defy has always targeted comfort, and the new one continues to use a carbon fibre frame to tame the bumps. Unlike its rivals such as the Specialized Roubaix and the Trek de Marne though, the Defy doesn't actually bother with suspension, pivots or other complicated add-ons to generate comfort. Instead, it relies on good old-fashioned tyre volume and frame flex. Giant says this decision was made following market feedback as well as feedback from its pro-sponsored riders. Giant also says it believes that such features typically come at a cost, be it increased weight, more maintenance or decreased durability. The seat stays continue to be dropped and the seat tube is also more slender at the seat post junction. Giant also says it has made the head tube a little bit more svelte to improve its aerodynamics. In the tyre clearance stakes, the new bike sees an increase of 3mm up to 38mm. This puts it in line with the Trek de Marne and is greater than the 35mm clearance found on the Cannondale Synapse. The new Specialized Roubaix, however, just trumps it with 40mm. All the bikes in the new Defy range ship with 32C Cadex road tyres that are set up tubeless as standard, but what I'd like to know is whether you think that endurance road bikes actually need such massive clearances. Pop your thoughts in the comments below. The new Defy is spec'd with an updated seat post and handlebar, again with a combined focus on low weight and comfort. Like the previous version, the new D-Fuse seat post is D-shaped and made from carbon fibre, but the new one tapers more aggressively towards the head to allow up to 7mm of flex at the saddle. Overall, Giant claims that the new Defy Advanced SL frame set and seat post produce 42% greater compliance than the previous generation combination. Giant is also speccing a new contact SLR or SL D-Fuse handlebar, depending on the model, to balance out the rear end compliance up front. The bar uses similar D shape on the tops, which Giant says not only increases comfort but also efficiency for harder efforts due to a claimed 2% increase in upwards stiffness. Basically, when you're pushing or pulling on the drops during a sprint, Giant is saying that the new bar won't flex as much, but when you're cruising on the tops or in the brake hoods, it'll be more comfortable than before. The defused handlebar also sports a shorter than usual 72mm reach, while the drops flare out by 8 degrees, which Giant says increases handling stability. Now, Giant says it has paid particular attention to ensuring the new Defy's geometry allows for a more controlled ride, and to that end the geometry is largely unchanged. Head and seat tube angles are identical to the previous generation, along with the wheelbase, the chainstay lengths, the fork rake, the seat tube and the top tube lengths. Fit is a different story, however, with the head tube lengths being reduced by 10mm on a size medium frame upwards. The new Defy's reach is also a little longer and the stack shorter, with a size medium frame being 2.8mm longer and 9mm lower at the front end compared to the previous version. As a result, Giant has made the Defy slightly more aggressive than before, and this is apparently based on dealer and consumer feedback, with the stack being a little too high on the previous generation. Now let's get into the part that you're all here for. How does this bike ride? Well, my colleague Warren Roster has been blasting the Defy around his local loops, and these are his impressions. While many other brands are smushing their endurance models into a pseudo-gravel form, Warren feels that the latest Defy is more of a pure road bike and that it's all the better for it. Out on the road, the Defy feels faster than ever, despite the geometry being largely unchanged from the previous two versions. Whether that's due to the 9mm reduction in front end stack height or the slippery new tube shapes and improvements to both tyre and wheel technology in recent years is hard to say, but Warren is clear that the new Defy feels more akin to an all-round race bike like the Giant TCR rather than a relaxed long-distance cruiser. In fact, Warren says that the new Defy stack and reach are only 15mm taller and 9mm shorter than the current TCR on his size large test bike. Whereas a stiff race bike such as the TCR will dash and dart over rougher road surfaces, the Defy simply floats over it. Warren also thought that the carbon seat post and handlebar isolated him from wearing road buzz very well. Down in the drops though, he says that the handlebar has sprint-ready stiffness. When it came to going downhill, Warren thought that the 2024 Defy displayed beautiful smoothness. Its ability to remain composed when the road surface was poor gave him the confidence to push harder and faster than he usually would on an unfamiliar bike. Warren says that the Defy climbs well too. The combination of a relatively low overall weight of 7.52 kilos for his size large test bike and a stiff, lively wheel set had him wanting to tackle ascents rather than seeking a flatter route. Well, that's what Warren thinks of the 2024 Giant Defy, but we want to know what you think. Would this lightweight endurance bike tempt you over the likes of Specialized, Trek or Canyon? Let us know down in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and if you want even more endurance bikes, then check out this first ride review of the just released 2024 Specialized Roubaix SL8.